Tuesday night was an historic night at Turner Field, and one the Braves would soon like to forget. 12 runs weren't enough as the Nats slugged their way to a series tie. Tonight, Alex Wood makes his fifth start after a scoreless outing against the Phillies. It's rubber match time at the 10. It's the Nats and the Braves. What will we see tonight? What Braves fans hope to see is a great performance from Andrelton Simmons and the hometown team. After a wild game last night, the Braves still have a chance to win a series outright against Bryce Harper and the Washington Nationals. Third, final, and rubber game of the set comes your way from Turner Field tonight. Hi again, friends. Chip, Joe, and Tom with you. What a wild night last night. A lot of things went right for the Braves. They did score 12 runs. The bad news is, fellas, 12 wasn't enough as Washington got a big homer from Dan Uggla to seal Atlanta's fate.
Yeah, when you score 12 runs, it ought to be enough. They could score 12 tonight, and it'll be plenty. I promise you, 12 runs anytime during the season is going to be a great night for Atlanta, but it wasn't last night. An error here that got under the glove of Alberto Callaspo led to a 3-run homer by Lobaton that turned the game around. This made it a 10-6 ball game, and all of a sudden, the Nationals had life, and things started going south on the Braves pitching.
And it continued from there. Louis Avalon had a tough outing last night, 3 walks. Certainly didn't help his cause. Then another big blow there by Dan Uggla. So it was just kind of I don't want to say a comedy of errors, but certainly a bunch of things that just kind of started snowballing. Like we talked about, they had the 4-run inning there in the middle of the game that kind of got them back into it. And then it was just pecking away until ultimately they put themselves in a position where it was one swing of the bat that made the difference, and Dan Uggla was able to provide that one swing. So, like you say, most nights 12 runs should be enough for you to win. Last night, unfortunately, it wasn't. I think that's one of those games where you kind of look and hope that over the course of the year, that's one you let get away, but somewhere down the line you're going to steal one, and those things will even out a little bit.
And maybe tonight's the night for Alex Wood. No Brave starter has gone 7 innings or more this season for the Braves, and he's got a tough assignment. He's got Jordan Zimmermann pitching for the Nationals. We'll get reaction from the clubhouse as the Braves try to bounce back in the rubber match with the Nationals.
Atlanta Braves baseball is presented by a
the Washington Nationals and the Atlanta Braves, and boy, have we seen it all. But Braves manager Freddie Gonzalez said tonight he's just looking forward to a well-played, good baseball game. He said game one, it was a little sloppy with 6 errors between the two teams. The Braves came out on top. Last night, a 25-run shootout. Unfortunately, a disappointing loss for the Braves. But Gonzalez also said he likes the makeup of his team and how they're able to bounce back and not let that affect them tonight. And if you can tell by the looks and sounds of what's going on in the clubhouse today, you can tell it's a positive vibes all around.
It was a tough game. We were in it the whole game, and we have to leave like that and lose it. But, man, that's baseball. And you come back today, and once you leave the field, you kind of let it go, and now we're ready for a new day. So come in and put in your work before the game and get prepared, and then play game when the game starts.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of good things at the plate. We're swinging at strikes. We're taking our walks when we need to, and when we get guys in scoring position, we're coming up with those big hits. You know, we got a couple of guys in the lineup right now with Freddie Freeman and AJ Brzezinski who are tearing the cover off the ball right now. So, you know, as long as we get guys on base, get those guys up, and let them do the damage, then we'd be all right.
And a lighthearted mood in the clubhouse is what you want. The alternative of laying down and taking the defeat hard is not an option. This team's ready to bounce back, and it's all about winning the series, so we'll see if they can get it done here tonight behind Alex Wood facing the Nationals. After the break, it's first pitch and lineups coming your way.
Feel of what turned out to be a pretty night. Blue skies overhead, cool weather as the Nationals are in town for the third and final game of the series. It's been a very happy return for Dan Uggla. As Joe mentioned last night, Dan drove in 10 runs all last season. He has 6 RBIs in the first 2 games of this set, but he's got a tangle with Alex Wood, Tom, a man that's had good luck against Washington.
5th start on the year, 1-0 on the year, had good numbers against Washington. Like you said, 3-1 in his career, and been really good his last 9 starts in the division. 5-1 with a 1.9 ERA against the National League East.
His 4 keys to pitching success tonight. He's really had to work hard. He's been in the stretch a lot, so hopefully he can have some easier innings tonight. And hey, Alex, be the first on your block to go 7. Braves are the only team in baseball that don't have a starting pitcher to go at least 7 innings.
And a good way to accomplish that is to retire this man. Denard Span had a ginormous game last night. And the first pitch of the night misses off the plate. Span had 5 hits, 3 doubles, a homer, scored 4 runs. And bumped his average from 207 to 314 with one night's worth of work.
It's hard to imagine you have a night like that and you get lost in the shuffle with what went on around you.
Right. So he's 5 for 10 in the series, and he's moved off the plate. 2 balls and a strike. Dan Uggla back in the lineup, hitting 8th and playing 2nd for the Nationals, who enter play tonight at 8-13. They'll make their way to New York as time was called before Wood delivered that pitch. The Nationals will make their way to New York to play the Mets. Braves have the Reds coming to town for 4 tomorrow. And that's tipped to the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Top broadcasters say all the time, you put this game or last night's game behind you, you get to play a new day tomorrow. Is that reality? Is that something the players think about, or is it tougher to do than we suggest it might be?
I think it's a little bit easier to do this time of year. If that was later in the year, that's a tough one to swallow. But that is kind of the beauty of baseball, and it's kind of that unwritten rule. You give yourself until you show up at the ballpark the next day to be mad about what happened the night before, and then you got to move on and get ready for the next ball game.
That was tipped into and out of the glove of A.J. Brzezinski. Full count remains for Denard Span.
I guarantee you Alex Wood is hoping everybody put it behind him, because he came to the park ready to pitch, hoping to get a win, and needs everybody else on board too.
Yeah, I'm sure he's saying, hey, give me 12 tonight and we'll see. Yeah. We'll take our chances.
That almost never happens for Alex. Fly ball deep center. Back goes Eric Young Jr. to the edge of the warning track, and he makes the play. Span squared that one up nicely, but the park big enough to hold it for the game's first out. Here's the rest of the Braves defensive lineup. Kelly Johnson swinging a hot bat, so he's going to play. Nick Markakis has done a good job leading off. He's going to start in right. Chris Johnson back in the lineup at third base. And A.J. Brzezinski, the hottest of all the Braves offensive players, riding an 11-game hitting streak. He's the catcher tonight. Here's Desmond, and a swinging strike, 0-1. Desmond's got to wonder, why is everybody else having fun but me? He's 0 for 8 in the series. And outside for an even count.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy too that if he's not hitting, he usually can do some things defensively to help you win, but he hasn't been doing that either.
Nine errors for the Washington shortstop. Errors have been a problem for Matt Williams' club. They've committed 23 of them. That's low for ball 3. A couple of deep counts for Alex to start the game tonight. Fly out of play. From Washington's perspective, last night's game had to be a gigantic lift for them. Long losing streak, starting a rookie. He falls way behind. They somehow find a way to score 13 runs and win it with the Dan Uggla home run. Looking for something, anything to get going, as Desmond takes one right down Capitol Avenue for a called third strike. 2 outs.
I would say they're good pitch right there in the inside corner fastball. I would say as far as teams are concerned and mentalities are concerned coming today, you could not be on polar opposites. The Braves, like I said, are doing everything to forget what happened, move beyond it, and get ready for tonight. Washington is trying to ride whatever momentum they can onto that and try and get some things going.
Jason Worth looking for his first hit of the series, but he has knocked in a couple of runs.
And it's funny on which level for each team. Like the Braves offense last night, you can't say anything hesitant or second guess anything about the offense. They did a great job. I was talking to Steve McCaddy, the pitching coach for the Nationals. He said that was just a crazy game and everybody's jumping up and down and screaming. And he said, when I wasn't,
right, yeah,
they were going, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
And I said, hey, I'm happy we won, but I can't take a whole lot of credit for that one.
Worth fouls one away. For the Nationals, it was the First time in the history of their franchise since they've moved to Washington, D.C. they've allowed 11 or more runs and won a game. Oh, 2 pitch for Worth. Missed the inside corner by an eyelash. It's 1-2. Worth, not the Jason Worth we've come to know and respect. Well, it's been a terrific major league career. He's still coming back from that right shoulder surgery. And Wood got him with a breaking ball. Back-to-back strikeouts. And Alex works a 1-2-3 top of the first inning. Jordan Zimmermann to work for the Nationals. Markakis, Simmons, and a red-hot Freddie Freeman are coming up. Here's the Braves starting lineup, brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Markakis has done a good job leading off. Nobody's hotter than A.J. Pierzynski, who had a 4-for-4 game, the 20th time in his career he's done that. Kelly Johnson's also chipped in with some big offensive numbers. He's riding a 4-game hitting streak, and the Braves will need all the offensive help they can get against a tough customer. Jordan Zimmermann gets the start tonight.
1-2 on the year. Tough against the Braves in his career. 4-2 with a 2.9 ERA, and look at his numbers in his last 14 starts against the National League East. 8-3 with a 1.8. So he'll look to continue to have that kind of success here against the Braves tonight.
He will be a free agent at the end of the year. What's unfortunate for him is that last year he went 14-5 with a 2.66 ERA, 3 complete games, 2 shutouts, and he was 6 days short of becoming a free agent. Gloveless Denard Span.
If they want to play with 8, that'd be fine.
Go ahead. Or he can play without a glove.
Or without a glove. That's fine.
Someone will be writing out a chit for a kangaroo court fine.
Believe it.
For delaying the ball game.
Denard Span trying to take the field without a glove.
Well, he was out there. Something happened. It broke or something.
Yeah.
He had to come in, get a new one.
So 6 days shy of free agency with Zimmermann at the end of the year last year.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to have trouble finding somebody to pay him for his services next year.
I love the guy, but he's off to a rough start.
.523 earned run average in his first 4 outings. And a line drive over short, the opposite field by Nick Markakis. Markakis is the only Brave in the lineup tonight who's hit a homer against Zimmermann. And he spoils the no-hitter with a leadoff single.
I love this lineup. I love the way they play. I love the way they swing. They're not hitting many in the seats, but they do. They hit a few. Boy, oh boy, they tough to pitch to.
A different Braves ball club, that's for sure. Here's Simmons, team leader in RBIs with 13. And he takes a strike. Anderson riding a 4-game streak himself. 5 hits, 19 at bats, including a homer in that stretch. And he tried a bunt that rolls foul behind the plate. 0-2. Anderson scored a couple of runs last night, drove in 2 with a second-inning single, and that went up and under his chin.
Got his leg caught under him too as he was trying to get out of the way.
They've come after him a couple of times in this series. A slide yesterday by Espinosa at second base. Now a pitch up around the bill of the cap. And now Simmons reaching for one, broke his bat, popped it up. And at shortstop, Desmond makes the play in front of Dan Uggla for the first out. Here's Freddie.
What are the chances he's going to get a first pitch strike?
Higher than high for him. 1 ball, no strikes. Freddie be the first to tell you the end to the just completed road trip for the Braves was really bad. 1 for 18 at the plate. He's come home and has rediscovered the hitting stroke. And there's another example of it. That's headed for the right field corner. Marquez around second on his way to third. Harper loads up. He's going to fire towards second, and the throw is late. Freddie Freeman with a 1-out double. He continues to punish the Nationals, and Atlanta's in first inning business.
I was talking to Steve McCatty, as I said, and he's mentioned and referenced Freddie Freeman, and I thought he was mad that something that Freddie had done last night on the field. And it had nothing to do with any actions other than the fact he said, we can't get the guy out. Tell him to take a day off.
He's not taking a day off against Washington.
AJ Pierzynski leads the club with 3 sacrifice flies. He wouldn't mind another one here. He's got 12 runs batted in. 2 are in scoring position for him against Zimmerman. And a little flare over second. That's going to drop and score a couple. Here comes Freddie. A bloop hit for AJ Pierzynski. It's 2-0.
When you've got a magic wand working, you just keep waving it as long as it's working. High fastball, broke his bat, delivered 2.
Yep, and again, going back to last night, you want to put that one behind you? Go out there and score a couple in the first inning and get it rolling.
And Pierzynski now a 12-game hitting streak, and he takes over the team RBI lead. Chris Johnson back in the lineup tonight, hitting .323 when he starts for the Braves. And he strokes one towards center. That one curling away from Span, but Denard gets there. And AJ Pierzynski forgot how many outs there were, and he will be doubled up at first base. So Chris Johnson flies to center. AJ Pierzynski is the 3rd out, and the Braves settle for 2 in the bottom of the first inning. Braves jump out to an early first inning lead on a 2-run scoring single from A.J. Brzezinski. That was the good part of the inning for A.J.
Yes, speaking of kangaroo court fines, this will be one for sure.
Chip, you brought up a great point between innings. Usually you do something like that and you want to stay as far away from the manager as you can. You have somebody bring you your glove. Poor old AJ can't. He's got to get the gear on.
Wouldn't it be great, though, to see the bad boy bring out all the shin guards and just have the catcher wave at the manager? But all is forgiven as Bryce Harper goes to work and pops a bunt back toward us and out of play. That's strike one.
AJ keeps swinging the bat the way he's swinging. That kind of stuff would be forgiven.
Nobody.
Although he don't want to do it anymore.
No.
That just goes to show you. 1 year in the league, 20 years in the league. Sometimes you forget.
Another strike to Bryce Harper. He's knocked in a run in 6 at-bats. And he leads Major League Baseball in walks so far. He's been passed 20 times in the first 21 Nationals games. And on an 0-2 pitch, he rips one to right. He's thinking about 2, and he slams on the brakes. Simmons throws back to first, and Harper had to hurry back to the bag.
Hanging breaking ball 0-2.
Yeah, just a little bit of a sweeper. Didn't really do much and allowed Bryce to stay on it and get a base hit.
So he's on base for a career high tying 15th consecutive game. And now one of the 2 Zimmermans for the Nationals, Ryan Zimmerman, bats with Harper at first. And that's outside, ball 1.
Braves will match their Zimmermans with a couple of Johnsons in the lineup tonight and raise it one. Got another one. We got 3 Johnsons.
Braves have their old AJ, CJ, KJ lineup in order. Three balls, no strikes. John Tumpain raises the right arm. He's the home plate umpire. And now the count 3-1.
Watching Zimmerman take batting practice today, and everything sounded right. Everything looked right. Everything was right on the sweet spot. Squaring it all up. Like that.
Yep. Straightaway center. Young going back. Still going back. And with his back up against the fence, made the grab. Harper's going to tag, and he's going to slide in safely. Good base running by Bryce Harper. Great catch by Young, and Zimmerman just missed tying the game.
Yeah, as soon as Bryce saw him turn and start backpedaling, that's when he went back to tag up. And that was a smart move on his part.
This is Wilson Ramos. Ramos didn't play last night. The Braves wish he did, because Jose Lobaton had 3 hits, including a 3-run homer, and scored 3 runs. Ramos went 1 for 4 in the first game of the series. He's a terrific receiver. Media guide for the Nationals says they all are. But injuries really sidetracked him last year.
Say he can't stay on the field. That's been his biggest problem.
Broken hamate bone and a hamstring problem. Cost him a lot of time last year. That's how to play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ground ball up the middle. That's into center for a base hit. And Bryce Harper will come around and score the first run of the night for Washington. So the hanging breaking ball on an 0-2 count to Harper comes back to cost Alex his first run. And the Washington catchers are having a nice series. It's now a 2-1 game.
Nice job of hitting there by Ramos. Keeping his hands inside the baseball. You saw his head stay down and through on that swing. His 9th RBI.
Danny Espinosa. Big play in the game last night came in the 9th inning when Espinosa drew a walk on a 3-2 pitch that from pitch tracks looked to be a strike that was missed by James Hoy. The reason that play was important, Ugla followed with a 3-run homer. Had it been strike 3 ahead of the homer, the game would have been tied in the 9th. And fouled away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Espinosa, a proud alumni of Long Beach State University.
Close friends with Gene Shalit, as we said last night.
As our mentor and dear friend Ernie Johnson used to say, that's the kind of mustache that you could taste your soup for a week. Evan Longoria, Troy Tulowitzki, Bobby Crosby, and Danny Espinosa, all shortstops at Long Beach State. And all those men made it to the big leagues. 2-2. Get it. Good pitch from Wood. And Espinosa's down on strikes. Alex has 3 strikeouts. And here's last night's villain, Dan Ugla.
The fastball that was supposed to be up and out of the zone wasn't. And he hit it a long way.
Dan really acted like a pro after he hit that home run. Acted like a pro in his post-game comments. I'm sure it would have been tempting to, I don't know, show up the fans or show up the Braves or show up the opponent last night. He didn't do any of that, did he?
It would have been real easy. No, he didn't.
That one off the glove of Brzezinski, and Ramos will move up to second base.
I talked to him today about that, and then he had the chance to maybe make some wisecracks in the paper too, because of what he had done to back it up. And he said, yeah, but I enjoyed my time here, and I like playing in Atlanta, and I like the fans. I've got great memories here, and there would be no reason for me to do that. To me, it was just winning a ball game. And was it fun running around the bases there on that game winner? You bet.
And these are important at bats for Dan Ugla. We've talked a lot in this series from the Nationals' perspective. Anthony Rendon is getting closer to coming back for Washington. He's their everyday third baseman. It was thought that Dan might be a man on the bubble as far as their 25-man major league roster is concerned. If he keeps swinging the bat like this, whatever decision Washington makes will be a very difficult one. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He keeps swinging the bat like he did. He had a good season last night, based on those numbers.
He did.
You know, he keeps doing that. It's not going to be a tough choice to keep him here. It's going to be a tough choice to keep him out of the lineup.
2-2. And Dan didn't get that one. It sunk out of sight. Now Alex Wood has 4 strikeouts. He surrenders a run, but not the lead. Braves up in the home second. Zimmerman by in a run. Let's check out our AT Uverse trivia question. Jordan Zimmerman has a 3.06 ERA since 2011. That's the 4th lowest among right-handed pitchers in baseball. Who has the lowest ERA since 2011 amongst righties? Are there innings minimums for this? Minimum of 500 innings.
Okay.
We'll have to think about that. As Kelly Johnson goes to work. Kelly has 6 hits in the last 4 games. And 6 is a magic number for him. 6 more hits gets him to 1,000. 1-2. Kelly's our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot subject.
Pretty good last 16 games here at Turner Field.
Sinker in the dirt. Kelly didn't get it. And he's out number 1. First strikeout for Zimmerman. And Jace Peterson's the batter. Jace has had a good run. He's got 5 hits in the last 3 games. 2 of them came last night. Both came in the same inning. He had 2 second-inning singles.
Nationals have been a little concerned about Zimmerman's velocity. He's right around 91 to 93, and that's pretty much where he's been tonight at the beginning of the game. There's Steve McCatty.
A couple of years ago, really, times even last year, Joe, we used to always say when the Braves played the Nationals, with all due respect to Steven Strasburg and Doug Fister and Gio Gonzalez, this was the guy that pitched most impressively against the Braves. Worth handles the Peterson drive to left.
I mean, you guys obviously see him do a lot more games than I do, but a little bit from afar, I would agree. I felt like when this guy pitched against the Braves, I don't want to say they didn't have a chance, but it almost felt like they didn't versus those other guys. I thought, all right, those other guys are going to do something to beat themselves, it seemed like. This guy, not so much.
Yeah, and we only base it on what we see, too. You know, whenever we see this guy, he always seems to be on top of his game. He never seems to have a bad game, and his numbers against the Braves would bear that out, especially his last 5, where he's gone 2-1 with a 2.10 ERA, 4 walks and 35 strikeouts.
58 wins is the most in Nationals history. And he's gone 94 straight starts without walking back-to-back men.
That's impressive.
Young couldn't stop a swing. And think about that.
Yeah, but I just like his the way he goes about his business on the mound. He seems to be a real bulldog. He wants the ball back so he can throw it again. Very aggressive.
And he just struck out his second man in the inning, and he'll lead things off in the Washington third. 2-1 Braves lead in Game 3.
Club View tickets with $7.55 club access for only $20 when the Braves take on the Phillies May 4th through the 6th. That's a $15 savings. Visit Braves.com/steal to reserve your seats now. And remember, you must buy today.
Close game so far between the Braves and Nats. And Gretchen Caney found a very interesting head-to-head stat between these Eastern Division rivals. Look at the one-run games that the Braves and Nationals have played in the all-time series history.
That's remarkable.
That is absolutely amazing.
But somewhat unsurprising, because you guys remember far better than I, the Nationals used to be the Montreal Expos. And no matter how good the Braves were or how good the Expos were, you talk about battles, those guys gave the Braves fits. Zimmerman hits one toward Peterson at second, and that'll be the first out.
Tom, I always felt like, I don't know if you agree with this or not, but I always felt like when you were training with the Expos, the familiarity in spring training, you saw them a lot, they saw you guys, that they didn't have any, no matter how good you were, they didn't have any fear of the Atlanta Braves.
No, they didn't. No, I mean
that was part of it,
right? And I don't, like no team's going to admit they had fear, obviously, but there's always that one team, it seems like, that no matter what, you throw the records out the window and you just know you're going to be in a dogfight every time you face them. And Expos were certainly a team of that nature when we played them all those years.
And like the Braves, they had some great teams and some great players.
Yeah, they did.
Bounce ball, and that's foul at first. Tony Tarasco is the Nationals' first base coach. And he'll make a friend beyond the Braves dugout. 0-2. It's out of play to the left side now. Span hit one to deep center to start the ball game. Alex had a good breaking ball tonight.
Except for one. Yeah. Trying to keep the ball in on him. And that's working, except for his just getting a piece of it.
Out of play again. Good at bat by Denard Span. The Nationals had to make a couple of roster moves before the game today. Reed Johnson had to leave with a calf problem last night. He was placed on the disabled list. They brought up Michael Taylor, the number 2 prospect from Syracuse. They also brought up a left-handed pitcher, Sammy Solis, who takes the place of A.J. Cole, who was here for a spot start. So Solis in the bullpen. I hope Reed Johnson gets well soon. Here's Mr. Taylor.
I'm anxious to see him play. He's put up some real good numbers in their minor leagues last year. Played at 3 different levels, including a stint with the big league club. Had a real good year at AA. 22 homers, 34 stolen bases.
Slow roller, gotta hurry. Peterson will shovel to first. Good play, 2 outs. Well, Taylor hit safely in 10 of 12 games to start the season for Washington. He went back to AAA when Span got healthy, and he didn't pout. All he did in 8 games with the Syracuse Chiefs. He's tallied 10 hits with a homer, 4 RBIs, 2 steals, and 4 runs. And now he's back.
Well, this time of year, you better hit down there so you can run around the bases and stay warm.
Yeah.
Base is empty, 2 outs for Ian Desmond. He struck out in the opening inning for Washington.
Now, this time of year, they call it a lake effect slump.
Yeah.
That's been what's ailing Anthony Rendon. All the Nationals minor league affiliates are in cold climates. Tonight he couldn't get the knee sufficiently loose, and that's been the big problem for him.
Do they keep a team down in their spring training site?
One would think.
You would think, right?
I was told they don't have a team in the Florida State League over in Vieira.
I might want to think about that.
Well, that's probably going to change when they move their spring training site down to Palm Beach County. They're building a facility with the Astros. Ground ball towards short. Simmons will scoop it up, and he'll take care of Ian Desmond, and Alex Wood hangs on to the lead. 2-1 game. Alex leads off for the Braves. Home third coming up. is your score. Major League Baseball's got a cool feature this year. Every Major League franchise gets to select its franchise 4. Fans get to vote on the top 4 performers in the history of their team. And here are the 8 candidates fans can vote for until Friday, May 8th. The selections will be announced at the All-Star game in Cincinnati. And just so you know, you're not second behind Henry Aaron, Tom, on that.
Oh, that's not how that works?
No, it's alphabetical.
Oh, okay.
But you are, if you read from left to right, ahead of Chipper.
Nice. All right, perfect.
So you've got that going for you.
I do have that going for me.
And Alex Wood is down on 3 pitches. Zimmerman has his 4th strikeout. Bigger pardon, his 3rd strikeout of the ball game. That list of 8 greats. I don't know how you picked just 4.
That's tough.
I know you probably feel this way, and it's hard for you to talk about it, but what an honor to be on the list.
Oh, my God, yeah, no question about it. And certainly not expecting to be in the top 4 when you look at those guys on that list. But, yeah, to be a part of the conversation with those names, it's pretty good.
And then Major League Baseball is going to pick, I think, an all-time Major League Baseball top 4. How'd you like to have to pick the final 4 for that list?
Yeah, how do you do that? I don't know.
Swing and a miss by Markakis, who singled to left and scored the first run ahead of A.J. Brzezinski's hit. I think that made Jordan Zimmerman mad.
Yeah, he's finding a groove a little bit here.
I like his delivery. I like everything about it. He's sort of upright. He doesn't seem to do max effort on his delivery.
Nope. Stands tall, throws downhill. Like I said, doesn't rely on having to overpower the ball to make it do what he wants it to do. And he's, on top of all that, very efficient.
2-2 pitch. And that went back up the middle and through. And look at Zimmerman. He can't believe he didn't snare that comebacker.
I'm with him. I thought he was going to get it.
So Markakis is 2 for 2 tonight.
A fastball, but far enough out away from Nick that he can get the barrel to it.
So here's Simmons. He popped out his first time up. The franchise 4 balloting is not the only balloting that fans can do online. Did you guys hear today that balloting has begun for the All-Star game? And this year it will be electronic voting only. No more will fans be able to punch out the Chads on the paper ballots at the ballparks anymore.
No kidding.
Nope.
Huh.
Sure, I like that.
Me either.
It's the Insurance MLB All-Star Game ballot. Nearly 160 million ballots have been cast over the past 5 years, including 40.2 million ballots in 2012. As this one's bounced toward Desmond. The shovel to Dan Uggla. Low throw, and Zimmerman couldn't handle it. The ball pops away. And look at Simmons scamper to second base. That's how the Braves are going to run the bases all year. There will be times where they run into outs, or crazy stuff will happen like it did at third base the other night. But they are going to force the issue from one bag to the next.
Let's go back to a discussion Paul Byrd had with Freddie Freeman about working on balls in the dirt. And remember how he was taught to reach out in the direction where the ball's coming from. Don't flip your glove up in the air. Flip it out in front of you. So watch Zimmerman. Now, he's a new guy over there, but look how far back his glove was. He wasn't reaching out, trying to play the hop, of course, but then kind of scooped it up. E4 on the play.
Another Washington error. And we pointed out last night they have third baseman learning to play first. They have a second baseman playing third. They have Desmond, who's got 9 errors at short, and either Espinoza or Dan Uggla playing second. And when Yunel Escobar plays, he's a shortstop playing third base. There's a whole lot of learning going on the infield defense for the Nationals. So 2 outs, a 3-0 count for Freddie Freeman. And he had the green light and fouled it into the catcher's glove. Line drive, that's going to get down in front of Worth. Here comes Simmons around to score. On 2-out RBI hit for Freddie Freeman. And he's up to 9 RBIs, and it's another 2-run Atlanta lead.
I was watching Steve McCaddy in their dugout. He'd already told us that he just wishes Freddie would take a day off. Stayed on that off-speed pitch, took it the other way, and McCaddy, I saw him down there with his hat up above his head, just kind of rubbing his head like, I don't know what else to try.
Well, they should have tried. They should have walked him. I mean, to me, I know you got to pick your poison here, but AJ's swinging the bat well right now, but Freddie's put up ungodly numbers against these guys for the last 3 years now, and I'm, to me, especially when he got to 3-0, I don't know why you're even messing with him. Just put him on and start over with the next guy.
Good point.
Slowly hit towards second off AJ's bat, and that will retire the side. The Braves get a run, 2 hits, an Uggla throwing error, and extend their lead to 3-1 as we go to the 4th inning. Called third strike. And Wood got him with a breaking ball. Back-to-back strikeouts. Didn't get it. Good pitch from Wood. And Dan didn't get that one. It sunk out of sight. So far, so very good for Alex Wood. And guys that usually doesn't get a ton of run support has been given 3 runs in the first 3 innings. And he's held Washington to only 1 run as he enters the 4th.
Last night there were 11 innings in which runs were scored combined between the 2 teams, their half innings. There were only 5 shutdown innings out of 11. Tonight there've already been, that makes 4. 1, 2, 3, makes 3, and there's been 1 shutdown inning. So last night it was problematic because the Nats just kept coming back even when the Braves were getting those add-on runs. Alex needs a shutdown inning.
He's got the 3, 4, 5 men coming up. Worth, Harper, and Ryan Zimmerman. Braves had Worth played absolutely perfectly. And Peterson makes the peg to first. Joe mentioned the one breaking ball mistake that Alex made. It was to this man, Bryce Harper, on an 0-2 count. He singled and scored the first Washington run back in the second inning. And he just missed. 1-0 your count. Another amazing stat in the career of Bryce Harper. He came up as a big league teenager. He's 22 years old. Bryce Harper has not yet faced a major league pitcher younger than he is. Rifled down the right field line. That one is going to hit high off the fence. And he is streaking towards second. The throw from Markakis is close, and Harper just missed a home run. He's 2 for 2. A sliding double is his third 2-bagger of the year.
Watch out when he swings. He's falling away from the plate. I mean, everything is pulling away from home plate instead of driving through it. It's amazing that he makes as solid contact as he does, hits the ball with as much authority as he does.
Yeah, you'd almost think, looking at him, if you weren't sure what you were looking at, you think he was pulling off the ball a little bit.
It looks like he's fooled all the time, like he is pulling off of it, and still just nails it.
The image that flashed in my mind after his first hit at contact, he looked a lot like Ichiro, almost out of the batter's box when he pulled that ball. Now he's in scoring position for Zimmerman, who flied to deep center. And now he's going to line one into left field. Harper had to hold up. Now he won't have to as the ball's bobbled in left. And the throw will come into second. And the Nationals have their second run. It's a 3-2 game and no shutdown inning for Alex Wood.
Yeah, he just got, or the Nationals just got that unearned run back with an unearned run of their own. Because Harper was going to stop. He had to wait and make sure that line drive went through.
Well, if Alex can get the ball on the ground, here's a double play candidate, Wilson Ramos. He hasn't hit into a double play yet, however, this season. Now with the plate, strike one. Somebody break up the Astros. They won again today. They beat San Diego 7-2. Gaddis had a big day. A run scoring hit against Craig Kimbrell late in that ball game. And the Astros are 14-7 and lead the American League West. They entered play with a 4-game bulge.
What a matchup that would have been. Kimbrell against Gaddis.
One ball, one strike. The Astros are 13-0 this year when they score 4 runs in a game. Winners of 6 straight. They swept San Diego. Here it's 3-2 Braves in the top of the 4th. And cue shot foul evens up the count. Reds are on their way to Atlanta. They were beaten at home today by Milwaukee. That was an 8-3 final. Miserable year for the Brewers. Worst record in baseball, but they're now 5-17. The Reds come to town, 10 wins and 11 losses. Mike Leake will face Shelby Miller in the series opener tomorrow.
That game in San Diego, Astros led 3-1 going to the ninth. Then the Padres brought Kimbrel in, perhaps just to get some work in because they hadn't had a lead lately, and he did not pitch a complete inning. Gave up 3 runs.
3-2, strike 3. The breaking ball froze Ramos, and 2 are out.
Good pitch. Trust yourself to throw that pitch on a 3-2 count. You got something.
5 strikeouts, 3 called.
Espinosa and Ugla coming up. These men struck out swinging. And a liner over short again. Espinosa swung at the first pitch. Zimmerman stops at second. That's the 3rd hit of the inning for the Nationals. No complaints about scoring being down in baseball in this series. As Dan Ugla comes up yet again. Ugla, among active second basemen, has hit more homers than anybody. 234 of them. Chase Utley is second. 222 homers as a second baseman. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 on, 2 out for the Nationals. Harper doubled with 1 out and scored after the hit and error in left. As Thomas said so often, you have a base open, it's third base.
Yep, it's just not first. You still got room.
Pitchers on deck. They are loaded with 2 outs, and Zimmerman the batter. He grounded out second in his lone appearance.
Alex had walked 10 in his 24 innings through his first 4 starts. This is a walk that you don't even blink about. Right thing to do.
Zimmerman, a lifetime 171 big league hitter, and he almost got hit. He'd blink if he'd plunked him. And nearly tied the game. 1 ball, no strikes. All 2 to the pitcher. No place to put him. Got to make a pitch now or the game will be tied. He did.
There we go. Do it again.
Yeah, he's going to have to probably do it 2 more times. With Jordan Zimmerman, you're going to make him going to take another one.
Same spot, same call. Full count. Zimmerman, Espinosa, and Ugla, the Nationals base runners. But Wood only cares about is the man in the box. Here comes the payoff. Popped up and into the seats. Zimmerman, a cool story. Second round pick in 2007. Nationals got 2 compensatory picks when the Cubs signed Alfonso Soriano. Zimmerman was one of those draft choices. 3-2. Line drive left center field. A base hit. Zimmerman scores. Here comes Espinosa. Ugla on his way around third. Simmons' throw to the plate is going to be off the glove of Krasinski. And Zimmerman has singled home 3 runs. And the Nationals are in front 5-3.
Well, he got the 3rd strike there. Nice swing by Zimmerman, and in the right spot too, and with the count full, that gave Ugla a head start from first. Looked like Anderson was in haste trying to get the ball out of his glove to gun down Ugla, and did not make one of his better throws.
So for the first time in 16 starts, Alex Wood has allowed more than 3 earned runs. The decision to pitch around Dan Ugla is foiled by Jordan Zimmerman, and Washington scored 4 runs in the 4th inning to take a 5-3 lead. Now Denard Span bats. He's 0 for 2.
Well, that's where Alex got to find something. Got to try and right the ship here a little bit, get out of this inning, keep it 2 runs, and honestly try and find a way to get through a couple more innings and not turn this into another game where you're depleting your bullpen.
Well, look at his line, Tom. He's already up to 83 pitches. And if there's been one consistent theme for the Braves starting staff, obviously they haven't taken the ball deep. They haven't given themselves a chance to do that. They haven't struck out many men. A lot of hits, a lot of walks, and a lot of deep counts.
Yeah, they've not been very efficient with their pitches, that's for sure.
Trevor Cahill is loosening up in the pen.
He's scheduled to pitch on Friday.
That might be subject to change.
Two and two to Span. Denard has bounced it foul. In fairness to Alex, this guy's been a tough out. Span's seen a lot of pitches tonight. The last at bat, he had 5, 6, maybe 7 foul balls in that 3rd inning sequence. Span has seen 33 pitches. It's 33 this inning, I beg your pardon. And number 34 ends it. Zimmerman brings home 3 runs. He's allowed 3 runs, and he leads 5-3. home, beat him with an RBI single in New York. And now Jordan Zimmerman brings home 3. And Alex Wood and the rest of the Braves starting staff are off to a rough start in their first 20 assignments.
Well, as we said at the beginning, the Braves are the only team in baseball without a starter that's worked at least 7 innings. And keep in mind, in the National League, there's only 15 teams, so that's next to last in those last 3 categories. That's a lot of. There are a lot of innings the bullpen's having to cover when they're averaging 5 1/3.
And Freddie Gonzalez talked about that after the ball game last night. Not only is it the innings that have to be covered, but the inning assignments for guys that are pitching in unfamiliar roles in key situations in the game. A strike to Chris Johnson as the Braves now down 2 runs in the home 4th. Broken bat out to second. Big hop for Dan Uggla. And he makes the play to first for out number 1. Cahill was up and throwing earlier. He has since sat down. Nobody is up now for the Braves. So here's Alex will come back out for the 5th. Kelly Johnson struck out to start the Braves second. Oh, and 2. Off speed pitch. And Kelly Johnson's down swinging for the second time.
He doesn't really throw a change up, but this curveball acts like his change.
Yeah, got a little bit of a, not quite 12 to 6, but that downward tilt that you can fool guys with the speed and with the movement of the pitch.
Talking earlier about this being Zimmerman's potential walk year. There's supposedly a great list of major league starting pitching that could be available in free agency in this offseason. Mark Burley, R.A. Dickey, Giovanni Gallardo. Zach Greinke can opt out of the remaining 3 years of his deal if he wants. Ian Kennedy, Matt Latos, Lincecum, Loesch, and Jordan Zimmerman. There'll be a lot of choices for major league clubs. It'll be fascinating to find out where this guy would rank. Would he be the first pitcher off the board for teams seeking starting pitching in free agency?
Well, if he ends up his year like this year is like his last 2 years, he'll be at the top of the list or right near it for sure.
Jace Peterson the other way. Desmond, a great job to get to that ball, but Peterson will leg out an infield hit, and that extends his batting streak to 4 consecutive games.
Got up on top of that high pitch. He's had the good beginnings to a very good homestand.
Eric Young with 2 outs. Popped up and into the seats. Foul.
Cahill's beginning to throw again as they get closer to the 9th spot in the order.
4 runs for the Nationals in the top of the 4th. Turn the game around. And that's too tight for Eric Young. 1-1.
How about a steal right here? At first, it can run. If he gets thrown out, you got Eric Young leading off the next inning in the pitcher spot. You might use a pinch hitter there next inning anyway.
He's going. And Young fouled it away. Good call, Joe.
Had a good jump, too.
No swing. Close pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Zimmerman out of Wisconsin, Stevens Point. Division III school. For you NBA fans, that's where Terry Porter played college hoops. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. And it's out of play, foul. Mets in Miami are playing in South Florida. That one is Bartolo Colon and Matt Latos. Mets lead it 3-2. Bartolo Colon trying to go 5-0 for the Mets tonight. 2-2 count. Again, the runner goes. Pitch high. Throw to second is also high, but they got the tag down in time. And Peterson is gunned out for the second time. Nothing doing in the Braves' 4th inning. It is a 5-3 Washington lead. Game of the series. Desmond Worth and Bryce Harper are coming up against Alex Wood. 2-out trouble sank Alex last inning. A walk to Dan Uggla by design, and then a 3-run scoring hit by Jordan Zimmerman, the Washington pitcher, cleared the bases and broke the game open.
Close play at second base, but Even though it was a high tag, looked like Desmond got it down before the foot got in there for Jace Peterson.
That ball's hammered toward the gap in left center field, but Young is going to get there. Desmond's 0 for 3. There's the first out of the inning.
And he's 0 for 11 in the series.
Here's Jason Worth. He is 0 for 2. Takes inside. Down on the farm, Gwinnett was a winner yesterday. They beat Scranton Wilkes-Barre 3-2. Williams Perez, a man the Braves like an awful lot, won his second game. He's got a 1.57 ERA at AAA. Matt Whistler's pitching tonight against Kyle Davies.
Yeah, how about that? I saw his name on the wire. He actually pitched in the big leagues for the Yankees earlier this year. And I thought it must be somebody else named Kyle Davies. I mean, it's a unique name, but I had to look it up, and lo and behold, I think he went 2 years without pitching.
Good for him. I hope he has a chance to get back to the show and stay for a while. Didn't like that call. 2-2 pitch. He won't like that one either. That one over the inside corner, and Worth is struck out for a second time. Seven strikeouts for Alex Wood tonight. Here's Harper, who's 2 for 2 with 2 of Washington's 5 runs.
Well, line score like this, 7 strikeouts, tells you the stuff is good. Now you just got to be more efficient with it. Got to be more able to make more and more quality pitches and eliminate the mistakes along the way.
He's almost at 100 pitches, and he's due to hit second. You've got to figure this is his last inning. Trailing in the ball game. At least that's been the pattern.
I don't know. I mean, EY leads off with a hit. Let him bunt him over, and I mean, he certainly could throw 15 more pitches and get through another inning.
Out of play, foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Trevor Cahill is throwing in the Braves bullpen in right. Swing and a miss. And Bryce Harper is retired. That's 8 strikeouts for Alex Wood. Will that be his final pitch of the night? We will find out. Braves are coming up, down 2 in the 5th.
Braves and your local Ford dealer.
Braves battery talking things over as Atlanta comes up for the bottom of the 5th inning. Hit to the pitcher, the difference in the game, and Phil Gosselin's grabbed a bat. He's on deck. It would appear that's indeed the end of the line for Alex tonight.
Well, Alex had the 1st inning, 3rd inning, and 5th inning, 9 up and 9 down with 4 strikeouts. The 2nd and the 4th wasn't quite that easy.
So if indeed he's lifted, it's another start for the Braves of less than 7 innings. Down 2 runs in the middle innings to Jordan Zimmerman, who's looking to even his record. That's too high, ball 3. Now, to Tom's point, if Young reaches, maybe you let Wood try to bunt him over instead of burning up pinch hitter here. We'll see. Full count.
Tell you what, he is firing some high fastballs in there. Shades of Jim Palmer just attacking the upper level of the zone, and he's got a good enough fastball to do it.
There's a good start. Leadoff walk, and it will be Phil Gosselin.
I don't know if Zimmerman was upset with himself or the call. Let's take a look.
Mentioned this the other day. Another really important facet to this Braves team so far has been the work off the bench by the Braves pinch hitters. Braves pinch hitters are 7 for 27 this year, and they've already hit 2 pinch hit homers. Braves bench brigade last year hit 2 homers in a pinch all year. One here from Gosselin could tie the game. Zimmerman wants to talk it over with Ramos. And Johnny Gomes are the men that have hit pinch hit homers. Phil Gosselin looks for his first pinch hit here. He's 0 for 4. Two in a row.
Now you're Phil Gosselin. You've been sitting over there watching this guy work. He's been pounding the strike zone with fastballs when he got the lead, and you get 2 hooks to start you.
Yeah, and you're coming off the bench as a pinch hitter. You're a looking heater. You get 2 hooks.
Young is running, and Gosselin on an 0-2 count drives one to right. Young stumbled around second. Now he's going to try for third, and he'll make it. So Zimmerman made too good of a pitch on an 0-2 count, and the Braves are in business with the top of the order coming up. First and third, nobody out.
Great job by Goose to fight that one off. Like another high fastball. And then, as good an arm as Harper has, took 2 crow hops to get rid of this one. Get the ball out of his glove, and that was the difference.
Traveling violation.
They don't call that anymore.
Slowly hit towards second. The flip to Desmond. And that'll be a double play off the bat of Markakis, but it does bring home Eric Young, and it brings the Braves a run closer. No RBI for Markakis, but it's now a 5-4 game.
We've been talking about this. Brian Jordan was talking about it a lot last night, the pre and post game show, about the aggressiveness on the bases. Whether it was Eric Young's squeeze play the other night or Alberto Callaspo taking an extra base. The fact that Eric hustled on around to third base, got that run across. So stay aggressive, keep hustling around.
Yeah, put pressure on the other defense. Make them make a play. A lot of times you don't run right there because Bryce Harper's arm and reputation and whatnot, but make them make that perfect throw.
In the air to right, and Harper in a couple of steps will handle Andrelton Simmons' drive. A leadoff walk, a single on an 0-2 pitch, and a double play brings the Braves to within a run. They go to the 6th at Turner Field. It's now a 5-4 game.
Deal of the week. Get Club View tickets with $7.55 club access for only $20 when the Braves take on the Phillies May 4th through the 6th. That's a $15 savings. Visit Braves.com/steal to reserve your seats now. And remember, you must buy today.
There's a surprising development. Not that Alex Wood is out of the ball game, but the man replacing him is Trevor Cahill. Trevor was scheduled to start against the Cincinnati Reds on Friday. And he just pitched the other day against the Phillies in Philadelphia. So he's pitching in his 4th game. Backing up Alex Wood tonight. He's got Zimmerman to start things off. Zimmerman scored a run last time up. That was his 700th run scored in the major leagues.
Cahill worked out of the bullpen a lot last year for Arizona.
So if he's pitching tonight, depending on how long he goes, assume he won't get the start on Friday night against Cincinnati. So then you go and you look and see, is anybody on the staff going to pitch? That's a possibility. Or do you look to the minor leagues? Incidentally, Mike Foltynewicz is scheduled to pitch for Gwinnett on Friday night.
Are we speculating?
No.
Just saying?
Just saying.
Oh. Okay.
Just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts.
Trevor was staked to a 2-0 lead against the Phillies. And Ryan Howard hit his 49th lifetime homer against the Braves in the bottom half. Freeman will take it to the bag himself, and Zimmerman is out number 1. Alex Wood tonight, 5 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs. 8 strikeouts. And he walked a batter. First time in 16 starts that Alex had given up more than 3 earned runs in a game.
Well, we all agree that walk, we'd have all walked. He pitched around Uggla, even with the base that was open being third base and Jordan Zimmerman coming up.
But you go 3-0 to the pitcher. That makes, what does that make him, a 300 hitter?
Well, makes him a lot better, that's for sure.
Bouncing ball up the middle. That's going to get through. Ramos has his second hit. And he's aboard with 1 man out.
It makes him better because that 3-0 pitch, I think, from Alex was about 88 or 89. He's just trying to get the strike in there, and he did. He was taking 3-1, another 88 or 89 aimed fastball. So you're not going to rear back and all of a sudden fog one in there for fear of walking him on 3-2. He got another fastball, timed it perfectly.
Espinosa, the batter, he is singled and struck out. Washington 7 hits, the Braves 7 hits. As we pointed out, 54 one-run games between Atlanta and Washington since 2005. We got another one-run game tonight. Nothing in 2. Bryce Harper's had a big hand in the game tonight for the Nationals. We'll watch Espinosa work on an 0-2 count. Bounded to the right side. Freeman may have slipped. Take another look. First and third for Washington with 1 out. Freddie hardly moved at all to his right.
He just laid off that one. Remember the play in Philadelphia that maybe kind of influenced his decision there, but I don't think he was going to get to that ball, Chip. I think he was hoping Jace could get it.
Men at the corners against Cahill. And Dan Uggla, the batter. He has struck out, walked, and scored.
Well, he needs to get another ground ball. Just get one to hit him at somebody.
Yeah, he's getting what he needs, and that's the grounders. Dan said something clicked with his swing about a week ago. Something started feeling right, feeling good again. He was just hoping to get another opportunity with some at bats for the Nats, and that happened when Escobar got hurt.
We hope it continues after the series. They go to New York to take on the division leading Mets. Steven Strasburg and Jacob deGrom hook up tomorrow night. Balls and a strike. Dan Uggla, first and third for the Nationals, who lead by a run. Ball 1, strike 1. Ramos with a 1-out hit. Espinosa followed with a single to right.
It's a pretty good pitch. Pretty good eye on Uggla's part not to offer.
Dave Zimmerman waits on deck. 3 balls and a strike. There's a high hopper. Peterson will charge and have only 1 play. High shovel, and Freeman with his 6'5" wingspan is able to corral that for the 2nd out, but Ramos scores a run, and the Nationals are back in front by a pair.
This is just some flat out bad luck for Trevor Cahill, having that bounce off the plate.
All right. How about the series for Dan Uggla? That's 7 RBIs for him in 3 games here.
Well, he's swinging his way back into the conversation.
And too high for Jordan Zimmerman. Up and in.
You can put that alongside Dan Uggla.
Yeah.
Two and one. Driven hard toward left. That will be caught by Kelly Johnson, and that will retire the side. A run on 2 hits. Washington again ahead by 2, but Freddie Freeman, Brzezinski, and Chris Johnson are coming up in Brave 6th. With Freddie Freeman leading off the home 6th.
Against Washington, like Steve McCatty said, we can't get the guy out. Almost a 500 average. A lot of extra base hits. 21 of his last 22 against him.
I think he'd like to figure that out and use it against the Marlins a little bit.
Did a better job against Miami.
He did.
Struggling mightily last year against the Fish. Zimmerman back to a 2-run lead. And he's ahead of Freeman. Strike 1.
It's about as good a backdoor breaking ball as you can throw.
Just to keep him honest.
Yeah. Well, Zimmerman got stood up too. Maybe he was thinking, you know, maybe I ought to just stand Oh, Freddie up too.
It might have worked. Popped him up left side. Espinosa in on the grass. He's got it. There's out number 1. A.J. Brzezinski extended his hitting streak to 12 games with a first inning single. Drove home the game's first 2 runs. Longest hitting streak in Brzezinski's long career to start the Major League season. He's up to 14 runs batted in. We've said it before. Fans wonder, are the Braves trying to win or are they trying to develop? Those two things are not mutually exclusive. They'd like to do a little of both, a lot of them both, quite honestly. A.J. Brzezinski is swinging a hot bat. And Freddie Gonzalez is playing him ahead of Christian Bethancourt as a result. Two balls, 1 strike.
Well, when the guy's hitting the way he's hitting, it's awful tough to get him out of the lineup.
Plus, it's the beginning of the season, and you don't know what's going to happen. And the team is 10-10 right now.
Zimmerman, a nice play from one Zimmerman to another. Brzezinski's the second out.
If in August you're, 10 games out of first place or something, it's a whole different story. Then maybe you play the young guy, hoping that you see what kind of future he might have for your ball club. But not right now. You go with a hot hand. If it's Christian Bethancourt, he plays. Right. Whoever's the hot hand.
Chris Johnson 0 for 2. Slide to center and it's bounced out to second. 6-4 Washington. And strike. That's out of play. 0-2 to Chris. And Johnson's down swinging. And the peg to first will be easy for Washington. 1-2-3, 6th inning for Zimmerman. Top of the Nationals order coming up.
Sports and outdoors. Right stuff. Low price every day.
Top of the 7th inning. Pretty night. But Washington trying to win the series. They lead by 2, and they've got Span, Desmond, and Worth coming up in the 7th. After an amazing night last night, Denard Span's come back to earth a bit. Span had 5 hits, 4 extra base hits, 3 doubles, and scored 4 runs in Game 2. We saw firsthand how destructive he can be when he's on base. Last year, 184 hits, most in the league, and a Nationals record for a single season. We've got a piece of Brzezinski on the way by. It's 0-2. Trevor Cahill out for his 2nd inning. He was the scheduled starter on Friday. Someone else, in all likelihood, will take his spot. Who that will be, we won't know probably until after the game. And Span in the air toward right. That's headed for the gap, and that's going to split Markakis and Young. Span's on his way to second. The throw will be late, and Denard Span has another double.
Well, the extra base hits were what really surprised me last night. We have a graphic to show you a comparison of Washington's offensive output last night compared to the previous 6 games. Extra base hits 9 last night. I couldn't believe that when I saw it. But only 11 in their previous 6 games. So they got well in 1 game, theoretically, when their offense had really been scuffling.
Cahill throws that one to the backstop. Span will move to third on a wild pitch. Well, look, let's face it. We talked about this in the first game of the series. The Nationals came to town, picked by everyone to run away with the National League East. They got off to a horrible start. 7 wins, 12 losses. 4 of their wins had come against the Phillies. They kicked the ball all over the place in the first game of the series, committing 4 errors. The Braves beat them 8-4. Did have the hard slide at third base, which seemed to really fire up the Nationals. They're at a point in the season where they will take any kind of motivation to try to shake themselves out of what's been ailing them. And then last night to come back from an 8-run deficit and win. And have Jordan Zimmerman on the mound tonight. They've got a shot to build some momentum and go into New York and make some noise. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ground ball to short, infield in. That's going to save a run. And Desmond is still hitless in the series. The point being, Washington is a much better team than their 8-13 record would indicate. They haven't had their team together, much like last season. That team juggle and move and work his team. Get them to the Eastern Division Championship. Remember, they were 2 games under 500 about a third of the way through the season, 196 games. They are fully capable of doing that with this pitching staff.
Yeah, they'll be in the thick of things when it's all said and done. Pitching's too good. Their defense is way better than it's been, and like you say, they've got guys that are injured, so their lineup's been, you know, kind of thrown together here a little bit to start the season, but they're gonna be in the thick of it.
With a big swing and miss. 0-1.
Braves really been hooking him tonight. Alex Wood started it, then got him out with a good fastball up and in.
And I think, Tommy, that's a fascinating thing for even a casual fan to talk about. Braves had their great glory run when you were still pitching. You guys didn't always come out of the gate and win 20 of 25 games to start the season, did you?
No, we had more than a couple years where we didn't get off to a good start, and there was, you know, all this same talk that we're having right now, and you know, even at the All-Star break we were behind a little bit a couple years. But I think, you know, in those years we always felt like over the course of the year our pitching was gonna certainly separate us from some teams. We were gonna play better the second half of the year than a lot of teams did, and it kind of turned out to be the case.
Infield in, and Worth's rewarded with a laser beam past Andrelton Simmons. That scores Denard Span, and Jason Worth has his first hit of the series. And now 5 runs batted in to make it a 7-4 game.
Not sure what that was. A breaking ball?
I don't know, but it wasn't a bad pitch.
No. That wild pitch, though, was very costly because on the ground ball off Desmond's bat, I don't believe Span would have been able to advance. And with the infield back and runner at second, Anderson's probably able to get to that ball. With 7 runs on 10 hits, so after their big night last night, Nationals haven't slowed down.
Bryce Harper bats. He's 2 for 3 with a couple of runs. Another wicked cut, fouled back to the screen. Even count. Alex Wood started, 5 runs in 5 innings. Trevor Cahill on for his second inning. He's allowed 2 runs so far tonight. Trevor will go as long as he possibly can, although he's due up 4th in the bottom of the 7th. There's nobody up in the bullpen. The bullpen that's been used a lot. No Braves starter has yet gone 7 innings this year.
Doesn't look that close watching it live and watching the catch that AJ made on that.
And Harper with another walk. He's been passed 21 times now, and they're at 1st and 2nd with 1 out.
I think Freddie and Roger are trying everything they can, like you said, to get Cahill as deep into this game as they can now, coming out of the bullpen to save another arm or 2 down there.
I think it's worked tonight. Trevor's given up 13 runs in 13 2/3 innings.
Yeah, that patience is being tested. Need a ground ball right here.
Strike 1. Worth and Harper, the brace runners for Washington. And the pitch to Zimmerman popped up at a shallow right. Nick Markakis is underneath, and he'll make the play for the second out. And here is Wilson Ramos. Way high, 1 ball, no strikes. All of us who work in Major League Baseball, I believe, are or should be grateful for the opportunity we have to talk about or play or enjoy our great game. Perhaps that applies to Wilson Ramos as much as anyone else. As this ball's grounded to the right side, Peterson knocked it down, can't find it, and when he does, Ramos reaches safely at first. Great effort by Jace to get to that ball. Kept it on the infield, and that saved a run.
He had him really shifted over to the left side. That's why Jace had to lay out for that one.
To finish the story on Wilson Ramos, we know of the political issues in his native land of Venezuela. In November of 2011, he was kidnapped and held hostage for 51 hours before he was being freed in the mountains near Montalban by the Venezuelan government. Amazing story.
Yeah, I think it was a cell phone tracking thing that they were able to focus in on where he was being held and send in the boys to get him.
So he's got a 3-hit night. Nationals have 11 safeties this evening. And Cahill got a ground ball at somebody, but Peterson had too far to range to make a clean play to end the inning. And now a fly ball off the bat of Espinosa into shallow center. Young can't get there. 1 run scores. Here comes Harper around third. He's going to score standing up. And Espinosa has 3 hits. And the Nationals tonight look like the Nationals of 2014. 9-4 they lead it. And once again, Dan Uggla the hitter. Nationals were labeled lifeless when they came to Atlanta. That has certainly changed the last 2 nights. And fouled away by Dan into the seats. 2-1 your count.
They were lifeless till about the 5th inning last night.
Yeah.
And then from that point on, slowly built, and they've certainly taking the momentum into tonight's game.
Haven't really touched on that tonight, but got to be concerned about Julio Teheran. He is not pitching like the Julio Teheran we've come to know and love. He has said he's healthy. There's no problem with his knee. His stuff was hittable last night again.
Well, it's not the easiest of games to pitch in when you have that kind of lead, you know.
Grounding ball to short. Simmons will go to Peterson at second, and that will retire the side. 3 more runs for the Nationals in the 7th. We stretch in Atlanta, and the Nationals have stretched their lead.
Nine to 4 And the boos have just gotten louder down here on the field for former Brave Dan Uggla, who told me earlier today, deep down, he really was expecting a little bit of a warmer welcome here at this park. He said, you know what, it's not about, he said, it's not show friends, it's show business, and they don't boo nobodies. I, of course, asked him out of all of his memories here at Turner Field, where his game-winning home run last night sits. He said, very politely at the top of the list, guys.
And good for Dan. Sorry it happened at the Braves' expense. But as I said last night, I think, guys, you'd agree, Dan handled himself first class when times were good, when times were bad for him here in Atlanta. Kelly Johnson, first pitch, swing, and a base hit for Kelly. Striking out twice, that's a good start. And he's got a 5-game hitting streak.
You saw a pretty good comeback last night, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Why not? Why not another one tonight on the other side?
Chase Peterson, the batter. He's got a 4-game hitting streak. He's been working long and hard on better results at the plate. He's also been working hard in the field. You might recall a hard slide by Danny Espinosa last night, raised some eyebrows with Andrelton Simmons. Jace Peterson got clogged a couple times at the bag, and Terry Pendleton's working on his footwork at the second base bag.
Well, he's got to give himself some options.
Yes.
And do some things differently. Because look, I mean, in this day and age, in every sport where everybody watches video and everything, you do the same thing every single time you go to that bag. Well, guys are just they're going to know, and they're just going to start sliding to that spot. And you know, Jace has got to do some things to use that bag to clear himself a little bit.
He doesn't do this every time, but Chase Utley, with his bad knee problems over the last several years, he typically will go to the left field side of the bag. He'll use the bag as protection. That's another option to stay out of the way.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And Peterson's down swinging. That's 6 strikeouts for Zimmerman. He's run into an elite pitcher tonight, and he's pitching like these numbers would indicate.
He had Tommy John surgery in, was it 2010? Missed the 11 season, came back, pitched a little bit in 12. They limited his innings pitched.
Yeah, he was really the roadmap, the blueprint for how the Nationals handled Steven Strasburg. Very similar stuff with Zimmerman. Tommy John limited his innings and then turned him loose the following season. Of course, when, as Joe mentioned before the game, when they did that to Zimmerman, the Nationals weren't considered to be the elite World Series appearing favorite team that they were when Strasburg was shut down.
I mean, there's certainly no disrespect to him, and certainly in regards to how he's pitching, his record, I don't know that you would look at him as a top of the rotation guy just simply based on stuff. You know, because nowadays everybody seems to be that top of the rotation guy. That number one's got to be 95, 96. He's got to, you know, punch people out all day long. I'm not saying he can't pitch that way, but man, if you had that guy and added him as that second guy in your rotation, man, oh man.
Swing and a miss.
But the funny thing is, they have that guy times 2.
Right.
I mean, think of him as number 3 if you want, behind Scherzer and Strasburg. I'm not putting him behind Strasburg.
I'm not either, and I guarantee you he doesn't either. He might be that slot in the rotation. He might hear that talk, but I can promise you every time he goes out there, he's saying, oh really? Well, watch this.
Yeah. I'll give you a terrifying possibility as Callaspo bats. The LA Dodgers have all the money in the world. Could you imagine a rotation that had Kershaw, Greinke, Zimmerman, and Ryu as your top 4?
I think of a lot of teams in the National League, and particularly in the West, that don't want to imagine that. But these guys here, I mean, right now, that's kind of what these guys have.
It is.
You know?
Yeah.
May not have the dominant guy like Kershaw, but
Little pop down the right field line. Long run. Harper diving, trying. He held on. A little snow cone action too. Great running catch by Bryce Harper. If he doesn't catch it, that would have been a bloop double. Harper's having himself a big night in Atlanta tonight. 3 runs and a great catch. And we head to the 8th. Before his bobblehead night May 20th, when you buy 2 or more Kroger 4-game plans that include that May 20th game. This exclusive pregame VIP meet and greet offer is limited to the first 100, so act now. Go to Braves.com/4GameToday. May 20th, Javi Lopez bobblehead night. That'll be when the Tampa Bay Rays are in town. Jordan Zimmerman got a lot of run support, and he provided a great deal of it with a 3-run scoring hit. He's through 7 innings with a 9-4 lead. Michael Kahn has grabbed the ball. He's on to pitch the top of the 8th inning. Cahill gave up 4 runs in 2 innings tonight in relief of Alex Wood.
3rd appearance for Kahn. An inning and a 3rd total. No hits or runs. That rocked me.
Yeah.
Boom.
Man, that was square.
Tyler Moore's the hitter.
Kahn was in 5 games for Gwinnett. 10 strikeouts in 8 1/3 innings.
Tyler Moore out of Mississippi State. Washington very persistent. They drafted him twice in 2005 and 2006 before he finally signed in 2008. He had 4 homers last year in 42 games. Insurance at first base and the outfield for the Nats. The 0-2 pitch. Back to the screen foul. Tyler Moore in the 2012 division series against the Cardinals. Turned around a 2-1 deficit, made it a 3-2 Washington win. He had an opposite field hit that scored a couple of runs. They like him a lot. And Kahn just sent him packing. Big fastball retires Tyler Moore. One away in the 8th.
Yeah, 94 fastball. He's got a good arm. We said every time he's come out, we'll say it again. If he's throwing strikes, he can be very effective. But he's walked one in each of his 2 outings prior to tonight.
Denard Span doubled and scored last time up. And inside, ball 1. Grace is up in the Nationals bullpen.
Almost said Will Grace. It's Matt.
Good control tonight, doesn't he?
Yeah, keeping it down.
Plenty of smiles for Zimmerman after 7 innings of 8 hit 4-run ball. He's in good shape for his 2nd win. Braves have 6 outs left, trailing by 5 runs. And Peterson got a tricky hop. Staying with it. And throws out Span for out number 2. Here's Desmond. Talked about all the free agent pitchers that are available. Desmond's a free agent too.
Sometimes there are some players that have a hard time handling that, knowing that it's going to be a free agent year and trying to put up good numbers, maybe putting a little extra pressure on themselves. Hope that's not the case for Ian Desmond. I wouldn't think so, because of his makeup and his competitive nature and the leader he's turned into on this ball club.
Yeah, that free agent year and sometimes that first year of the contract you signed put a lot of pressure on you.
He'll be 30 years old in September. Desmond was actually drafted when this franchise was in Montreal. He was the 84th pick in 2004. Won the Silver Slugger as the best hitting shortstop the last 3 years. It's understandable.
What are his last 3 year home run totals?
25, 20, and 24.
Strikeout numbers.
113, 145, 183.
183 last year. Wow.
And his errors have gone up. That's the most perplexing thing. Remember when he broke in, he set a Nationals record with 34 of them in 2010. He was just a kid.
Yeah.
And he went to 23, then to 15 errors. That was in 2012. 20, then 24, and he's got 9 this year. But finished the first month.
Well, if I were analyzing whether or not I wanted to sign a free agent named Ian Desmond, I'd see the power numbers would jump out at me, but then the errors and the strikeouts, and especially the way these strikeouts have elevated over the last 2 years, that'd scare me a little bit. And it ought to be a red flag to him to shorten up his swing a little bit.
Full count pitch, and he took a walk. Let's see, Desmond entered play tonight. 84 at bats, 20 strikeouts, 1 every 4. There are the numbers we were talking about. Homers roughly the same. RBIs up. On base percentage down because the strikeouts were so high.
Yeah, the RBIs are increasing. That's a good sign.
But in today's game, depending on who you talk to,
yeah,
strikeouts don't matter.
Right.
Here's Worth. But errors sure do.
Errors do, but I mean, I've always found that curious. So offensively, strikeouts don't matter. But on the other side of the ball, we're constantly looking for guys that can strike people out. So,
right.
Does it matter or doesn't it?
Well, going back to the slide the other night, it's all a matter of perspective, I guess, right?
Yeah.
We're sure happy with our shortstop. Washington likes their guy too. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that's way outside to Jason Worth. You look at potential landing spots for Ian Desmond in our division. You got the Mets and Phillies. That's 2 potential places. Braves and Marlins are set. 2-1 count. That's inside. Reds have Zach Cozart. He's a terrific defensive shortstop, but he too strikes out a lot. Imagine Desmond playing 81 games in Cincinnati.
Here we go again with Michael Kahn. Started off great, keeping the ball down, good fastball, and now he can't find the plate.
Back-to-back walks with 2 outs, and that brings up Bryce Harper. Braves have 4 rookies in their bullpen. Kahn is not a rookie, but not a lot of major league experience. One thing that we have noticed, and we've talked about it the first 3 weeks, there's a lot of potential down there. There's also a lot of wildness. Braves are walking far too many men in relief.
Well, let me ask you, Tom, because I have an opinion on this, but scores 9-4. You just got called up. This is your 3rd appearance. How much more damage are you going to do to this game if you're pounding the strike zone and give up a couple of hits versus a couple of walks? That's what concerns me.
Well, no, I agree with you, but I think in his perception is it's all about going out there and not giving up any runs, right?
Yeah.
But let's go under the assumption that he does give up some runs. Then it becomes, well, how did you go about doing it? And if you're pounding the strike zone, but you're giving up some base hits, that's far more acceptable to Roger and Freddie than, hey, we're going to walk a couple guys, and all of a sudden we're going to give up a 3-run home run. You know, especially when you had 2 outs. You had 2 outs in the inning, and now here we go.
And the other side of it, are those 2 outs were a strikeout of Moore, pounded the zone. Went right after Span, jammed him, got a ground ball. So that's going to be lost. That's going to be forgotten. What's going to be remembered are the walks, and then if he gives up a base hit.
And I think, too, then what happens is you get 2 outs. Now you walk a guy. Now here comes Jason Worth. Here comes Bryce Harper. Well, man, I got 94 with a little bit of movement isn't any good anymore. I got to throw 100 now.
Yeah.
You know, and you start humping up and trying to throw the ball too hard and trying to overpower everything, and then you're all over the place.
Well, that'll work. Up and into Harper at 95. And after the chat from Roger McDowell, a 3-pitch strikeout sends our game to the bottom of the 8th inning. Top of the order is coming up. At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at Bat for your smartphone or your tablet today. Nine 4 is your score. Braves coming up for the home 8th. Let's revisit our AT&T Uverse trivia question. And tonight's totally unfair question is Jordan Zimmerman's .306 ERA since 2011 is the 4th lowest among Major League right-handers. Who has the lowest?
Are you sticking with your guy?
I'm going Felix Hernandez.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I'm going to go torn between Verlander or Wainwright. I'm going to go Wainwright.
I'm going to go Max Scherzer.
Well, that's a good call, too. And, of course, we're wrong.
Golly, I had him on my mind, too, and I didn't think he'd been good enough that long. The last couple of years were good.
Look at our partner over here.
What happened?
Nice specs.
Times are tough. I'm going so bad my glasses broke. There's Matt Grace. We're going to see Johnny Cueto on Sunday. Final game against the Redlegs. Julio Teheran will face him. Then the Phillies are in for 3, and then the Braves hit the road again for another long road trip. And a strike for Grace, 2-2.
We saw Grace first game of the series, but only for 1 out. Came in, got him out of an inning. Fastball slider.
Full count. And strike 3. Markakis didn't think so. You almost never see Nick make a peep. Let's take a look and see where this one was.
If he took it, that's good enough for me.
As always, thanks to our friends at Delta Airlines. They'll get us from city to city safely this summer. Hope our pal Matt Coney's enjoying the ball game. He's probably making the sandwiches for the next trip.
Make mine mustard, Mac.
Going to Washington, Cincinnati, and then back to Miami. Another 3-city 9-game 10-day trip. By the way, we haven't forgotten. I hope you haven't as well either. If you're out on the road and you're listening to the Braves on the largest radio network in professional sports, as a ground ball off Travis Simmons is handled by Ian Desmond. Get to hear the dulcet tones of the voice of the Braves, Jim Powell. Jim is still eagerly anticipating any and all chicken pot pie recipes. We talked about that in Philadelphia. He's, a connoisseur of chicken pot pie. And you can send those recipes to Jim's attention here at the ballpark. And he promised that he will announce a winner at some point later in the summer. I don't know what the prize will be, but I'm sure it'll be something really, really terrific that Jim will provide.
Maybe like a case of aluminum foil.
Tupperware something. So you can send it to Jim Powell and care of the Braves. And just make sure you put on the outside of the envelope chicken pot pie contest.
How did this all come up?
Oh, you don't know?
I don't know. Did he get tired of the cheesesteaks in Philly?
Yeah, he actually went to the best press room in Major League Baseball. The fine people in Philadelphia, they are the nicest of all. He requested if they could make chicken pot pie specifically for him when we got to town.
They had some fillets that night, but he preferred the chicken pot pie.
Huh.
He said chicken pot pie, and I don't care. And they made it for him. And He ate like he was going to the chair.
Yep.
One ball, two strikes. And Freeman takes one at the knees, I think. And that retires the side.
It's like a getaway day for the umpires, too.
Yeah, Grace with 2 strikeouts, and we go to the ninth. Booth, clubhouse, and dugout. Tours are offered all year long at Begin in the Braves Museum and Hall of Fame. For more information, call 404-614-2311. Who knows? The man on the mound may be beginning his journey to the Braves Hall of Fame as he debuts in a 9-4 game in the ninth. This is John Cornely, his major league debut.
Out of Wofford College in South Carolina, the first guy to pitch in the big leagues out of Wofford. Last year, all in relief at Mississippi. A great year, 7-3 with a 2.49 ERA. Those are his numbers at Gwinnett. This year, 12 strikeouts and 8 2/3.
I think he would have preferred to get an appearance a little bit more quickly. He had to sit and think about his first big league assignment since Friday. But he's here. His first pitch is off the plate to Ryan Zimmerman, ball 1.
6'1", 205. Lives in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, which is where he was born.
And his first big league out will be to Ryan Zimmerman on a pop up to center field. 1 away.
Coming into this season, his minor league career numbers: 15-8, a 2.82 ERA in 146 relief appearances.
Wow.
No starts.
You have a sub-3 ERA. That's really impressive.
15th round pick in 2011.
Let's see if he can get Ramos, has had a big night. 3 hits, a run, and an RBI. Three balls, no strikes. And on 4 pitches, he just walked Ramos. Alex Wood started, went 5 innings. Trevor Cahill, 4 runs in his 2 innings of relief. Michael Kahn, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts in his scoreless frame. And now Cornely, 1 on, 1 out for Espinoza, who's got a 3-hit night. Espinosa drove in a pair of runs in the 7th. Ground ball right side and through for Espinosa. He's got 4 hits. Ramos will stop at second base. Bottom part of the order has done some serious damage to the Braves tonight. Ramos 3 hits. Espinosa 4 hits. Ugla an RBI and a run, and of course Zimmerman the pitcher with a 3-run scoring hit.
Think anybody will see that bat lying there? Oh yeah, here comes the bat boy back. He's down there getting all that gear. Tony Tarasco. Good hustle.
Espinosa had 2 4-hit games last year. And one here in Atlanta tonight. Chance for Ugla to add to the Nationals lead. 9-4 in the 9th.
Sure, Nick Markakis and Freddie Freeman want to know where this pitch was. Top of the zone for a strike.
Just sounded like a ball.
Sounded like a strike to me, too.
Line drive left field for Ugla. Ramos around third's getting waved. Here comes the throw. It is going to be not in time. It was off target. Brzezinski gloved it and then dived to the baseline. And Ramos got in ahead of the tag, and Dan Ugla has another RBI, and the Nationals have scored 10 times tonight.
Yep, fancy footwork.
Poor Nationals bat boy's going to need an IV. He's been a busy lad. 10 runs on 14 hits. And here's Clint Robinson. He hacks the first pitch and pops it up. Look at Simmons hustling near the line. Kelly Johnson, though, gets there first in foul ground. And Robinson on the first pitch is the second out. Span 1 for 5. He scored the first of the 3 Nationals' 7th inning runs. And a strike. Marlins 4, Mets 3. That game's bottom of the 8th inning in Miami. Pirates 2, Cubs 1, top 6. Cardinals 5-2 over the Phillies. Colorado and Arizona getting started out west. Giants play the Dodgers later. And speaking of Arizona, boy, that terrifying play last night. The line drive that felled Archie Bradley, the talented kid pitcher for the Diamondbacks. Hope and pray he's going to be all right.
Yeah, it sounded like it wasn't as bad as it could have been, that's for sure.
Carlos Gonzalez with a line drive that hit him in the side of the face. And Bradley, who was off to a terrific start in rotation for Arizona, may have to go, if he hasn't already, to the disabled list.
I think they've already put him on.
Have they?
Mm-hmm. Called up some 119-mile-an-hour flame-throwing guy that everybody's been talking about out there.
Perfect.
Yeah.
One ball, 2 strikes. Uh-oh, that's hammered deep to right field. Markakis is going to go back, and Denard Span may never want to leave Atlanta again. He just hit a 3-run homer.
Well, get them while they're hot, boys. Zaxby's indescribably good play. Put some icing on this one.
For Washington.
Runs and 15 hits in consecutive nights. Yeah, not bad. And with all this damage, Ian Desmond still doesn't have a hit.
Every other national regular does, including their starting pitcher. And that continues as Desmond strikes out. 4 more runs in the 9th inning. Denard Span with a 3-run homer. John Cornely's big league debut sends us to the home 9th.
In any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Atlanta Braves.
13-4 Washington. They scored early, middle, and late tonight. And Bryce Harper's had a hand in it tonight. He's our great clip of the game.
He's done it with the bat and the glove tonight, and some good base running. All-around play from an all-around good player.
So Aaron Barrett grabs the baseball. He'll try to get the final 3 outs. A.J. Pierzynski will get things started for the Braves. Matt Grace is scoreless 8th inning with a couple of strikeouts. And now Barrett, their 3rd pitcher of the night. A.J. another run scoring hit that came in the 1st inning. He'll take a 12-game hitting streak into the series opener with the Reds tomorrow night. Shelby Miller, Mike Leake will be the opposing pitchers. Shelby's pitched great. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ground ball. Ugla settles and fires to first. That was a tough play.
Able to keep his feet. That was important there.
Bring up Chris Johnson. Chris got the start tonight and hasn't had much luck. $12,595 the attendance for game 3 of the series. By the way, did I hear the Hawks won tonight?
They did.
On our sister network, they won by 10.
By 10.
Congrats to the Hawks.
They're up 3-2. Is that right?
Uh-huh. Broken bat. Might have ticked the pitcher's glove. Ugla stayed with it. Wait for the official verdict on the play. As Johnson saw it off for the second out. Reds are here tomorrow night. First of 4 games. We will have Thursday and Friday's games for you. Fox Sports 1 will televise Saturday's game. And then Joe and I are back with you on Sunday. Are you working Sunday?
No.
No.
I gotta take the weekend off. I'm tired after 3 games in a row. I'll be back for the Phillies series.
Okay. All right. So we will have Braves live for you on Thursday night.
Part-timers, these part-timers, I'll tell you. Back up to get another run at it. Before you leave, there's 2 outs. Not a good time to bring this up. But I think Kelly will foul off a pitch or 2. Any ideas what you would do if I put you in the GM and manager's seat and put you on the spot? I mean, would you have some of the younger guys up here, or is it too early for that?
No, I don't know. I don't think it's too early. I think more than anything else, it's, you know, depending on what your expectations are of this team, if you think it's going to be a little bit of a struggle this year, then you got to be careful, to me, with the young guys that you bring up as to whether or not they can handle that. That to me is the big thing.
Because you had to do that.
Well, I had to do it. You know, I took a lot of lumps up here at the beginning of it, and I've said it. It was better for me to be here learning that at this level than having another good year, so to speak, at AAA. I don't know the makeup of these guys. That's something that the Braves are going to have to consider. But certainly the stuff is there. There's no question about that.
And you were a homegrown guy. I mean, the organization knew you. If you think about a Fultonevich or a Banuelos or a Whistler or anybody else, most of those guys have come from other places, and that makeup question is an unanswered one.
Right. I agree.
But we expect there'll be an announcement for who pitches Friday. In all likelihood, it won't be Trevor Cahill. We'll find out shortly, we presume, as the Washington Nationals got angry, got even, and then got busy against Atlanta in these final 2 games. 13-4, they win game 3 of the series. The Braves fall to 10-11 and get set for the Reds here tomorrow night. Oakland Ballpark after this.